New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
The Knicks have fired David Fizdale. Perk, we were just talking about Fizz in the last segment. I guess the Knicks felt the situation was as dire as the people up at this table did. What is your reaction?
I'm so happy for Coach Fizdale. Yes, he finally he gets go to bed at night. No more stress. Yes, but something needs to happen. He's not the only person that needs to be fired.
There's something worse than the Cowboys, and that's the New York Knicks, who are absolutely god-awful. We understand that.
Yes.
They got rid of David Fizdale. He was a coach that, from what I'm told, wanted out. It was frustrating him, the entire situation. A 21-83 record can frustrate you. There is no doubt about that. He's been awful. But people that are willing to stop there, and the New York Knicks organization has an abundance of people that are willing to do that. I'm not letting anybody off the hook.
What's going on, Knicks World? This is the Nick of Time show with that Knicks talk in the nick of time. It's your boy Edson Sean in the building.
Yeah, I'm good on quitters, man. If you want to leave, you can leave. that little tidbit bothered me. I felt a little bit bad about Fizz getting fired.
Right.
But if you want to quit, that's the one thing I hate is I hate quitting.
Okay,
I hate it.
that's one perspective.
All right, I'm sorry.
You know what? Let's
All right, my bad.
let's introduce everybody first.
Yeah,
and then we'll get into
it.
it.
All right, it's your boy Jay Ellis here in the building.
Word.
And to my left is the ISO supporter, Julius Randle's biggest
No-handle Randle.
hater, the guy that Sergio has nightmares about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you gotta watch Knicks Fan TV. The one, the only Ari. What's good, man?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Good having you here. Came over here an hour drive.
Man.
Gotta talk ball. Let's do it.
And to my right is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Ryan G in the building.
Word. All right, man. I mean, let's get in it. The elephant in the room is Fizz is fired. You're just gonna jump in.
Yeah.
Are you happy about that?
I'm happy that they're making changes. I don't know if I'm exactly happy that that's the change they made. And the reason why is this. It's not even the fact that he's not an effective coach. It's not the fact that he didn't hold up his end of the bargain by holding people accountable. But the problem is, which he didn't. But I'm saying the problem starts higher up. The problem starts higher up. How many coaches have we been through under Mills?
The stat was in the last 18 seasons, the Knicks had 13 different coaches.
13!
Bruh.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how many? At one point, are you gonna say it's not everybody else, it's me?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's gonna be a scapegoat. That's just the name of the game. And we knew this was happening, especially when 2 back-to-back games, 30+ you're losing by.
Mm-hmm.
Last one like 37 or something like that.
Yeah, 44 and 37.
Oh my God.
Yeah, here's the thing with me. I don't know if you watched what I said on IG, but when your team loses by 30+ points 2 nights in a row,
Something's wrong.
Something is wrong. Your team has quit on you, and
Yeah.
Agreed.
And obviously, this team quit. It doesn't matter what this team said behind closed doors about,
Right.
oh, we got to stick together, we got to play hard. And no, the results speak for themselves.
And that was the problem that I had. There's 2 things, right? So you mentioned that Fizz quit. And you know what? You're right. No one really likes a quitter. But at one point, are you going to jump off the Titanic? The people that jumped off the Titanic aren't quitters. They're trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The Knicks organization is the Titanic. They're the Titanic. And Fizz is like, this ship is burning. I need to get out of here.
So he's Leonardo DiCaprio?
That's what
pretty
that's what I'm
much.
saying. But then the other thing is this now. After he's gone, everybody's like, oh, I was teary-eyed. I was crying. Oh, coach. He's like a second dad. It wasn't. You guys weren't playing like he was.
No, he was not playing. They was not playing for his dad at all. They quit.
So I don't understand, You we didn't want this all to fall on coach's shoulders. Well, what did you think was going to happen? When you lose by 31 night, 44 one night, 37 other night, what did you think was going to happen?
My thing is, like, we all know the team was built clunky, right? We know this.
Right.
Yeah.
But there were certain tactical things that Fizz was doing that just didn't make sense. And Listen to last week's episode. Last week's episode was pretty good.
Yes.
We had
Scout with Brian.
He broke down, why he felt like Fizz is a good coach, and a lot of it has to do with, he runs certain plays that other coaches run.
Right.
But the thing that's missing is there's more to being a coach than running plays. You have to be able to make in-game adjustments.
Of course.
You got to be able to think on the fly. You have to be able to create a certain system and not just call plays, but call plays for the correct personnel. If I'm calling a pick and roll and I have Randall playing point guard, it doesn't matter if I'm teaching Randall how to run pick and roll. Is that
First
he
off,
should be running pick and roll.
You have to have a handle.
No handle Randall.
You got to have a handle to him.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Well, I got it. All right, man.
Well, listen, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Fizdale, but what I also think is that, he's not the real problem. I think that it was a good move to fire him, because, like you said, his in-game adjustments are terrible. Kevin Knox at the 2, come on, like, are you serious? Like, to give him confidence. That was what he said.
Yeah, that was the last thing that was going
Wait,
to give him confidence.
Can we how do you give a man confidence? He can't guard. He can barely guard the 3.
Playing him
He's
out of
barely
position.
fast enough to guard the 3.
Playing him out of position.
Why would
is
you?
going to get him more
Why is that
confidence.
giving?
Exactly.
Guarding a 2. Alex Collins said you might as well have him guarding point guards, put Tim's on his feet. That's what Alex. But sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know, but I just think that I think he was more of a babysitter and like a friend than a coach. Like that's
I agree.
That's the thing.
I agree.
He's a player's coach because he's friends with them, and you need, especially with a young team like this.
Yeah.
That they need instructions. They need to be held accountable, and you can't be everyone's friend all the time.
Thank you for saying that. That because I used to teach in Brownsville, right? And there was certain classes we had to have a certain style of teacher.
Yeah.
Right? You needed to have somebody who was playing no games, no nonsense. But then when you had that teacher was like, oh, we love going to his class. Yes, because they can get away with whatever they want to. They underperform and all those different things. So that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, damn, Fizz is the cool teacher.
Yeah.
And
This is the cool teacher
you don't need the cool
who let
teacher.
you come in late.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, you don't have homework for
that's
kids.
exactly. Yes.
I'll bump you up. I'll give you
Yeah.
5 extra points even though you didn't answer that correctly because you know what? I like you. Like, no.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't get a chance to do homework again. That's all right. Go sit down.
You
Always
see,
falling for the dog. Eat my homework. Always.
Exactly.
exactly. You see, I was trying to jump in, when we get to the other part of the conversation, when we actually talk about those higher up that need to be held accountable.
Okay.
But I do
know what
have
that is.
exactly.
Whatever do you mean, Brian?
But I do have something to say about Fizz though. And the thing with Fizz is that I feel like he did hold people accountable, but it was the wrong people accountable.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm like the young players, like for example Frank Ntilikina, Damian Dotson, and those guys. Like if they played bad, he'd be like, you know what? You're not gonna come in the next 2 to 3 games. You know what I'm saying? And would give them DMPs.
Yeah.
And then finally bring them in after a while. But then guys who were messing up consistently, like Tim Hardaway Jr. last season on defense, no handle Randall, he would not hold those guys accountable.
PTSD.
So the problem is the consistency. Then it's like it's like if you want to create a culture. It has to be consistent across the board. It can't be like the ones that the young ones I'm gonna hold them accountable. The ones I like, I'm gonna give them a little slack. Like you can't do that.
Yeah.
And that is part of the problem. And again, that's why I think it stems from top down. Any organization, any business, how you run at the top is how you run at the bottom.
I still feel like the pendulum swung too far for Fizz because when it came to Marc Gasol in that situation with Grizzly, he went extreme. I'm benching you. You're not doing what you want. I'm not playing you. And he got canned for that.
Right.
Came to the Knicks.
It's a post-traumatic stress disorder a little bit.
Exactly. You're like, you know what?
I'm not gonna do this anymore. Yeah.
And it ended up being the same result because he just went too far extreme.
Right,
It's kind of like when you had a girl, you know what I'm saying?
It's balance.
And then you date a nerd and you're like, oh, I want somebody outgoing. But then, she ends up, dating everybody because she's too outgoing. Like, you probably needed somebody a little bit more
in the middle. A little bit in the middle.
Yeah.
No, I think that's exactly what happened. Like he's like, okay, I'm not gonna be too hard on them. I'm gonna let them do whatever they want. Something needed to change, but I think because he's a nice guy, I was like, oh, Fizz. But yeah, there was definitely things that he wasn't doing And I definitely think the post-traumatic thing is real because he did not want to have another. But that's so funny because he got the same result.
The same result. Didn't matter.
Exactly.
Like, damn, I kind of feel bad for the guy.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
man.
damn, son.
Yo, if you listen to the players talk, it's like they lost a cat or something, man. It's
Yeah.
really sad, though.
They weren't playing like that, you know. But right, it's, again, going back to the nice teacher. When the nice teacher gets fired, I don't know why they did that. We liked him. Well, because he wasn't doing work.
Yeah.
He wasn't passing tests.
And you know what, too? I would also like to add to the media commenting on the Knicks, like, please don't comment on the Knicks if you don't watch the Knicks. Like, if you like, it's very. I said this on the post. We said this on a post game show. It's like very low hanging fruit to just say, "Oh, the Knicks don't have the right personnel."
Yeah, it's very easy.
Fizz didn't, need to be fired. Like, Fizz did not know how to use the players correctly. He started Elfrid Payton and DSJ at the same time.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Had Knox playing at the 2. He switched too much. He took way too long to make in-game adjustments. But Denver was bombing threes all day long.
Like, nice.
I have like a whole list of things he did wrong. It's like, bruh.
I think he gave up a long time ago. Because at this point, it's like, what are you doing? You're just mixing random things up. You're not following any kind of game plan. It doesn't seem. Everything's changing. Like, you're behaving as if this is preseason, testing things out. 20 games in, like, Did he see this coming? I mean, I'm sure. Did he see this coming? Was he like, all right, F it, I'm just going, like, what was his actual strategy?
Man, I think after a while, man, it was probably like he was there coaching and he was like, okay, we lost 1 game. All right. Okay, now we lost 2 games. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Then after a while, it just was like, you know what, man?
That train is never late.
Exactly. Like, why am I still here, yo? Like, let me just do what I got to do and just get out of here, get paid for, not coaching this team anymore and just be out of here.
Let me play audio from a fan who was high.
Oh, yes, please.
There was someone on Fizz.
I mean, at one point, beginning of the season, we had hope. Right. We were going to win 30 games or so. You know what I mean? It didn't happen, but it is what it is. Let's see what he has to say.
Old Boogie from Brooklyn.
What's up, old?
And I'm just gonna say, David Fizdale was in over his head, man. Loved the guy, wanted him to do well, but he just was in over his head, man. This was not the team for him. He came in with Keith Smart, which looked like a mistake because he left Dennis Smith Jr. in his hands, and I think
Keith Smart helped Moutier, but he couldn't help Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Come on, that makes no sense.
All right, I'm sorry.
That makes absolutely no sense.
That's so weird to me. All right, let me keep going.
he was counting on that, and he needed that, and that really didn't pan out for him, man. So at the end of the day, I think he was in over his head, man. It was a change that had to happen, but good luck to him. And he'll be all right, man. He'll be all right. That Nick paper's long. He's good. All right, fellas, y'all be good, man.
My question is, from what he said, saying that this team wasn't right for him, I'm like, who is this team right for then?
Right. I think the team is probably right for someone like a college coach, someone who connects with younger people. I think that would be someone who would be like, listen, in my dream scenario, it's never going to happen. But I would just give Coach K like $15 million a year and pray that he comes here.
Man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Coach K is never leaving.
No, why would he?
Yeah.
He's got the cushiest job to come into this. Never.
The cushiest job in basketball history. He's never leaving that job.
But they need a coach that has like like a student, like adult, like that's what this team needs. It doesn't need a friend. It doesn't need a guy who's like, playing you one-on-one. It needs someone who's going to teach you lessons and have you grow as a person and as a player. And, these guys are like 20, 21.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot. I think Kevin Knox probably still growing for all we know. Like,
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's like you need a guy that's going to help them on the court and especially in New York off the court as well because of the distractions and like the media and all that, could get in someo's head.
So do you have any other coaches besides Coach K?
Well, listen, I love Jeff Vangundy. I know he knows how to.
We all love
Vangundy.
I think he's too out of touch, though.
Yeah, Knicks legend.
Knicks legend. Do you think he want to come back?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
I feel like he had his time. I think so. Wasn't he Kansas City last year and coming back? I feel like
you think he could relate to the younger players?
Well, I mean,
I think the younger players will respect him.
Yeah, I know Ryan was reading the stat earlier. Is that what you pulling up, Ryan?
Yeah, actually pulling up the stats right now.
like Jeff Vangundy was one of the coaches that was on the Knicks that took a team that wasn't expected to do much
Exactly.
and had them overachieve. And
So what are we waiting for then?
I mean, it's a new era, so it's a new era, so you have to make sure things are right, and that is everybody's concern. Like, if you really think about it, we moved on from Jeff Hornacek because he could not relate to the.
And so that's why I asked that question.
Right. So that's why they're probably weary of adding somebody like Jeff Vangundy, who's kind of really
old school. And is he up on the analytics and the style of play now? And
here's the thing. Like, I have faith that he can be, only because he was with Team USA.
Right.
For a few times when they was doing more of the space and pace thing, bomb threes type of style. So I think he can,
Because I think that's one of the knock on some of the older style coaches.
Right.
And being able to adjust. I mean, I was always a Jeff Vangundy fan.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he still like commentates on games and things like that.
Right, so he has to be aware.
So I'm pretty sure he's aware of like the new NBA and like I'm pretty sure he has like ideas in his mind like how he's going to implement or I guess his old system and how to like try to evolve it into like today's NBA.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he has an idea in his head already or something like that.
Is a good.
Yeah, and then like he's a guy like I was reading stories talking about how well he prepares. And I think Herb Williams came in and he said like he hasn't slept in days because he's been preparing and looking at tape.
He still looks like he hasn't
hours
slept
out.
in days.
Yeah.
Look at him at the announcers table.
But that's the type of play. That's the type of dedication a young person needs, man. A young person needs
attention to detail.
Super detail oriented, especially when you're talking about guys like Mitchell Robinson and Kevin Knox, who aren't detail oriented.
Yeah, they're very raw.
But they have raw talent. Like you need somebody who's gonna really break things down to the basics and like do this, put your foot here, 45-degree angle, low to the foot. Like you know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
Okay, so since we talking about Jeff Vangundy, I'm gonna go into the Jeff Vangundy stats right quick.
Okay.
430 and 318 overall record, 44 and 44 record in the playoffs. He led the Knicks to the finals in '99. Here's the most interesting stat though that I ran into. So, pretty much in the last couple of decades, NBA.com came up with this stat saying that the New York Knicks have been a worse than average defensive team in pretty much 15 of the last 16 seasons. Just gonna put something into exactly.
What was the year they weren't? Do you know?
Yeah, they have the 1 year they weren't during that span was the 2011 and 2012 season. That's when Tyson Chandler won Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay. Pause. I think that's also the year that Steve Mills wasn't a part
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then they said before that, the last Knicks team to be above average defensively was Jeff Vangundy in 2000, 2001.
Absolutely. Wow. 2012, that was D'Antoni, right?
Yeah.
So if you're talking about defense, it's not something we need. I mean,
Right.
I still am worried about will he be relatable to this younger generation?
Yeah.
But
that's for me. I think that's the only concern I would have. Everything else, I think Jeff Vangundy's, above level on. But just the relatability to the young guys, like,
And speaking of defense, I read something today, and I don't know where it came from because I'm part of these little group chats and all this other stuff, and someone just took a clip, posted it, didn't put like a reference or anything. So I was like, yo, where's this from?
Yeah.
Like, how credible is this? I want to know.
Who said this?
So I don't know how, if it's true, false, but I read that the Knicks were kind of implying that they wanted Fizdale to hire a defensive coach or assistant.
Really?
And he was like, I got it.
No, you don't. So we have another caller from Queens, D Stacks, who has some views on the Fizz firing as well. So let's hear what he has to say.
Hello, guys. This is Derek, a.k.a. D Stacks from Queens, New York, and I wanted to chime in on the Fizdale firing. My biggest issue with the Knicks, being a fan of 35 years, is that we don't have an identity. If you think about the good Knicks teams of the 90s, Riley brought an identity to the Knicks, and that identity was defense and toughness. And that is what actually got us to become a consistent, winning, championship-level team. And even when Riley left, Vangundy came in and continued that defensive toughness mentality and identity that made us a successful team during the course of the 90s. Ever since then, every coach that's come in has not created an identity for the Knicks. There was nothing that we could hang our hat on. There was nothing that we could say, hey, as a fan, every night I know I'm going to expect this from my team. We don't have that. And you see what has been the end result. We've basically been the worst team in the NBA for the last 20 years. And there's no surprise that after Riley and Vangundy, there was no established identity with any other coach that came through. So basically, we need to get a coach who is going to want to establish an identity with this team. And then management has to work in unison with that coach to put a roster together that will basically bring that identity to the Knicks on a consistent basis that the fans can now expect every single night, and that will establish them as a winning organization again. It has to start there. You need to establish an identity. All the good teams and great teams in the league have an identity. There's something that they're known for. There's something that they're good at. There's something that they consistently bring to the court. We need to establish that. We got to get a coach in who can create an identity for this team. Because right now, what are we? Like every night when you watch the Knicks, what are we? What is there one thing you could say we are other than trash? We need an identity, fellas. Thanks.
But as a result of that, Mike Miller was added. They suggested that they put Mike Miller into the fold. Like, you know what? I'm going to add him to your staff. Now, remember last week I was talking about that guy that can, you know.
But I think we had actually talked in several episodes about Mike Miller might be, bring him up from the G League and see what he can do at this point.
Yeah.
And the Knicks clearly were listening.
Yeah. And Mike Miller has experience because Jeff Vangundy, you know, he's on the list. But I think Mike Miller this season, it'll be a nice little tryout year for him.
Exactly.
He has the cachet of being a player's coach. Players do it.
Right.
Respect him. A lot of
Knicks
players were called up under him.
Coach of the year in the G League, wasn't he?
Coach of the year in the G League.
That was 2017, 2018.
And, you know, we were talking about having someone who can relate to young people. He was an NCAA coach, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
So I feel like he's a good fit, you know?
Yeah, and you talk about defense.
Right.
Yeah, he has a high defensive rating every year.
Right.
Almost every year he was in the G League.
Yeah, I got the specifics though.
Okay.
Because during his the year that he won Coach of the Year, he had the Knicks ranked second in net rating. That's offensive rating minus defensive rating.
Okay.
4.5. He also had the Knicks shooting well from 3-point range.
Okay.
So I mean that shows that he can do a bit. He can do something on offense to get guys open shots from 3.
Yeah, the knock was they felt like he didn't take enough threes. That team, but I mean, we hitting them.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean that's also the same year. And shout out to Alex Wolf because I actually read that tidbit from Alex Wolf from Lock.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Nice.
And he had the team third in defensive rating at 102.1.
Oh.
Yeah, and not only that, in 2015, 2016, they were fourth in defensive rating.
Nice.
They were also third in defensive rating in 2017, 2018. They missed the playoffs in 2016 when they were actually bad. But he's had a good run as a defensive coach.
Right.
And not only that, he's been able to get these guys into the playoffs while having guys be transferred in and out of the lineup because people are getting called up.
Of course.
So to have, you know, that's a sign of a good coach. That's a sign of somebody who has a system in place and he can kind of teach multiple people the same thing and still get kind of a similar result.
So how well do you think that's going to translate to the league?
Well, I mean, did y'all see? Did y'all see the game? Y'all saw the
Pacers?
Yeah, I saw the game.
Yeah, but that's a sugar high game.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's like the KP game that I was at. It was a sugar high game.
Right, the 2 KP games.
Let's see this West Coast trip. What happens here?
Yeah, that's gonna be a real
yeah.
test.
Exactly.
Let's see the West Coast trip.
Exactly.
If we keep it close and we don't get blown out by 30, then all right, we might be onto something. We're not asking for wins right now.
No.
Yeah,
Right,
Just be competitive, play
I think
hard.
that's all I'm asking. Right
Cover
now,
the spread, that's
I
it.
want to see a good game because right now the brand is trash. The brand is trash right now. Talking about you get on the floor, I know I'm not going to see a competitive game. At least post
Yes.
Mike Miller.
Yeah.
I know I wasn't going to see a competitive game. Pacers game, competitive. But again, like if that was my way, I'm like, this is their first game with the new coach.
That's why the spread was 5.5. You would think that it would be like 20 or something or like 15, but it was a trap bet. But like, I think that it was those games that the coach gets changed and then everyone's like rallying around the new coach, or when KP comes into the house, everyone's ready to go, hyped up.
Yeah.
And that just shows you how mental the game is from a point.
Absolutely.
That shows you how
It's
mental it is.
mostly mental.
Mostly, yes, because everyone can play in the league.
Exactly.
That's what separated Kobe from everybody else.
That's right.
Mentally, like he
Mental
was.
attitude.
It.
Oh man.
And that's the problem with Dennis Smith Jr. and Kevin Knox. I don't think they have the mental.
Nope.
RJ Barrett and Frank do, but the other two don't. So
Yeah, welcome to the Frank time.
I'm half in.
All right,
I'm half in the Frank Hive.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair.
That's
We
fair.
still have some ways to go. But listen. Obviously, they were amped up. Like to that game, there was a perfect storm.
Right.
Because and I'll say it this way because one, the Marcus Morris was back that game. Right.
Yeah.
He had that first game. We had a little bit of rust. He's top in the league in 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
And the game before that, he was missing a lot of wide open 3-pointers. Right. So he had to get that rust off. So that for one. Two, Elfrid Payton just came back.
Exactly.
And he's probably our most competent
point guard,
point guard that we have on the team. And to have him back for a full game automatically makes you look a lot better.
Right. Yeah.
Not to say that the Fizdale still didn't deserve to be fired.
Right.
There were certain things that
right.
he did that was still weird. But
yeah.
But so those things combined with we have to rally behind the coach probably made things look a little bit easier, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, there were certain tactical things that you saw that made you think Miller is competent, at least at this point. And really, he's not that much. You don't have to do a lot to impress me right now.
Yeah.
All you do
Which is sad though.
Yeah, because you watched the game, right?
Yeah, I watched the game.
What did you notice? What did you notice from the game?
Well, the things I saw him do different from Fizdale was, number one, it seemed like to me he had the Knicks run a faster paced offense because I was like, it makes sense because the Knicks can't shoot the ball, so it's like, why are you gonna have the Knicks constantly being half court sets?
That's it. Get the rebound.
Yeah, exactly, and push the ball more.
Now here's the thing too, is like because Fizz has tried to have him run a fast paced offense, and they always seem to do it within the first 4 minutes of the first quarter,
Right.
And then it's right back to slow ball. Everybody's walking the ball up, and they don't keep it up
because again, that's when you got to hold players accountable. You can't let them. Can't be a friend and let them keep doing that. Call a timeout, like, yo, what's up?
So is that Mike Miller, controlling the game?
We won't know until the next couple games, though, man.
Like Ari said, that West Coast trip.
That's that sugar high win. But it was more competitive just because there's just so many factors. All those people that came back, new coach, they're trying to show, okay, all right, we it's not us. But it is. Because I think when you mention about mental toughness, the game is mostly mental. Right. And you mentioned Kobe. I'm so glad you did. Kobe said mental toughness is not getting too high or too low in any given moment.
That's a fact.
And the Knicks are very emotional players.
Oh, yeah.
And again, that's why we need somebody who, like you said, can kind of guide them a little bit more. Because we got a whole lot of young guys, so they're going to play the game emotionally.
Oh, yeah.
They're down, like, you can see, look at their body language, and they're losing. I'm like, okay, we're about to get hit, but with like 20, 25 points tonight. Because their body language is, you can just see it.
Now, what else you notice, Ryan?
Also, defensively. They didn't switch as much, like you said. Like it was like necessary switches only.
Yes.
Where it was like like if a player gets picked off and then like he's trailing the play, then you'll see them like automatically switch and things like that. But
and
for the most part,
though after that too.
Yeah, exactly. But for the most part, like they were fighting over picks and staying on their man. Which I know. Which if it was Fizdale, it would be like automatic just switching all over the place.
Yeah, that was I was concerned about that, especially because you switch every play, that's easy to get. Points in the bucket and points in the three. And you get a slow on you, or when you're down low, you get a small guy on. It's just too easy.
Yeah, and in that game, the Pacers, we held them to 15 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
They only scored. They didn't even score in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, Knicks could have scored either though.
I mean,
but
they were tight.
They started strong and they ended strong, so they only lost by like 1. But you know. Well, I want to see what the next couple of games look like. This West Coast trip, I'm very interested to see.
And you know what else I noticed?
Yeah.
You got more? Go ahead.
No, I want to see if we're on the same page. So I want you to go. So I want you to go.
Oh, immediately, I didn't see point guard Randall happening at all. I seen Randall only handing the ball as like a secondary option.
Right, exactly.
Like RJ was initiating the offense for the most part.
Yes.
Frank was initiating offense for the most part. Randall did get the ball at the top of the key, but it was only after a pass, and he usually made like a quick decision.
Exactly. Yes.
So it was like the way Randall was being used was just such night and day. You almost might have faith that he could be useful if a different coach knew how to use the kid.
Well, listen, Randall is not your first or second option on any given team.
No.
He never was. No. He was never meant to be that.
No, he wasn't.
So, Mike Miller, I'm hoping he realizes that or continues that. And because the right coach can use Randall's a useful player. He's high energy. You know, he can get you a couple buckets. You just got to know how to use him. You can't use him as a primary play starter.
Here's the question. Is it the coach who's deciding how to use him, or is it the guys above him telling the coach, this is our big free agent, he needs to get the ball all the time? He needs the minutes.
I think it's the coach.
Because it makes him look bad. It makes the Steve Mills look bad if he comes off the bench, which I think he should.
But this is the same argument we had with Timmy.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway.
I called it Julius Hardaway.
Listen.
I said it's the first game of preseason.
This is the same complaint we had about Timmy. Like, yo, sit his ass down. Why is he playing?
Yeah.
Because they're being checked. That's why.
Exactly.
But like, here's the thing with Fizz, man. Like, it's one thing because we definitely said, sit Randall down.
Yeah.
But then he's still using him wrong. Even when he's in the game.
Yes, correct.
He's using him wrong. Don't use him as initiating the offense.
Or point forward or whatever.
Exactly. If you're even going to think about using him that way, adjust the numbers. You know what I mean? Have him initiate the offense 3% of the time.
3 is a nice number.
Not round, but you know.
Exactly. And it was the one thing I noticed was set rotations, because if you
next one, the next one. Go ahead.
Yeah, because if you notice, like especially the point guard rotation, because if you watch the game, like this is how we did it. You start Frank Ntilikina, then towards the end of the quarter, you take out Frank Ntilikina, you put in Dennis Smith Jr.
Yes.
Then to start the next quarter, you put in Elfrid Payton.
Right.
Yeah, then again, when Elfrid Payton gets caught tied, then you put back in Frank to end the quarter.
It was like common sense was happening on the court. And I couldn't believe my eyes. And then it's like, oh wait, Frank would usually come back in right now, but Elfrid Payton is leading his comeback.
Exactly.
I'm going to leave him in the game.
Yeah, and he left him in the whole first quarter. Yeah.
Calling an audible. It's like, hey, okay, you know what? He's hot. I'm gonna let him
rock.
Let him rock.
Stuff like that. It's like what? It's common sense stuff that.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You don't need to agree for this.
Well, I don't know. Because it seems.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
All right.
Don't do it.
Oh my God. All right, so Mike Miller, we need to see.
Yeah, Mike Miller. I got mad more stats, but we can leave.
Okay.
All right. Talk about Mike Miller.
So, what do you think about how the team in general responded to Mike Miller now being the new coach?
So far, so good.
Right.
So far, so
one game.
Good.
Right.
I think the thing to think about now is what is the real value of the people here?
Meaning everybody?
Yes. Like
from top down?
Yeah, that's all I'm
saying.
I think so.
Or just, okay.
I think everybody, because if you have a coach who's more competent,
right, and
all of a sudden Julius Randle's playing better, all of a sudden these guys are playing better for an extended period of time, then was the problem might have been the coach. You know what I mean? Then maybe you keep a player too longer than you thought instead of flipping everybody. You know what I mean?
So do you think Mills didn't do as bad of a job?
Mills still sucks. Man.
Okay. That's where I was.
That's the sucky byproduct of this.
Okay.
Because man,
are we into the Mills talk?
Remember we did the pod with the other dude, and they told me to describe Mills in one word, and I said handicapped.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And handicapped in the sense of when you play video games and you have the setting.
Yes. No. Yeah.
Because, you're
like Mortal Kombat. You start with half your energy.
Yeah.
I got you.
It's not the physical.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I feel like he just weighs everybody else down. And even with Perry being here, the first year of Perry being here was cleaning up Steve Mills' mess, getting rid of.
And who's still here?
Yeah, when I say cleaning up Steve Mills' mess, I mean.
He didn't really clean up much though.
He didn't clean up much, but he had. With the KP stuff happening, it would have been a lot easier to get more stuff back if you didn't have Tim Hardaway Jr. here.
Who signed Tim Hardaway Jr.?
Steve Mills.
There you go.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Cleaning up Steve Mills.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So personnel, everyone needs to be looked at. Okay. The coach is more competent. Players are producing more. Maybe we keep some people that we were thinking about getting rid of. If we can find a way to use them.
Yeah, what happens then? Are you guys still keen on keeping every?
That's what I'm about to say.
If we start playing better,
keeping who though? Like the free agents or the young guys?
The free agents.
Oh no.
Or is it no matter what, win or lose, they gotta go.
So since we're here, let's talk about that. What are the next steps in general, personnel wise? Got the trade deadline is what, the 15th?
It opens December 15th. It ends in February.
Okay. Are we moving anybody? Who do we move? What do we need to do? Because I like that you said, okay, now that we have somebody using personnel differently, are the pieces that we were considering getting rid of that we're going to keep now? What do you think that the team needs to do to move forward and at least be competitive?
Go ahead.
All right, well, in my opinion, Marcus Morris is our best player, but he needs to be traded for asset acquisition. I also think the Marcus Morris and Julius Randle pairing doesn't work.
Yeah.
So by getting rid of Marcus Morris, you might be able to get a first-round pick or something like that, add it to the asset acquisition. Randle's production hopefully would go up a little bit. I would also get rid of Wayne Ellington. I don't even know why we even got him in the first place. I mean, he's taking him and Dennis Smith Jr. in my opinion, taking Alonzo Trier's minutes because we could develop him as well. So those two I would definitely trade. I mean, Randle, I don't think he has much trade value at this point. Bobby Portis, I don't think he has much trade value either. He could bring some toughness, but those two, I would trade Morris and Ellington for sure.
Trier is definitely a casualty of war right now.
Yeah.
Oh man.
With those minutes, I'm like, and it's like when you have a player like that, and it's like, man, you could develop him. Because I remember last season what he looked like, and this season I barely see him. I'm like, damn.
Fizdale ruined him.
It's like,
it's the same. Yo, it's hard though. Like when the one thing I did give Fizz credit for was sticking to, a defensive mindset. At least I hate that he didn't do it for Randle.
Okay,
or Dennis Smith Jr.
Or
Dennis Smith Jr.
Play favorites, bro.
Explain to me how Dennis Smith Jr. deserves more minutes than Alonzo Trier at this point.
The only reason why
he doesn't, but Steve Mills traded for him, so Steve Mills is probably telling him to play him. That's what I think.
That's possible. It's possible.
I mean,
or it's possibly that he's like, what? Okay, what's it? What can Dennis Smith Jr. do?
Dunk. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Dunk.
I mean, Trier's a better scorer.
Trier's a better scorer, so
the defense is up in the air. They both can't play defense, so
ISO has better size.
ISO has better size. Dennis Smith Jr. sets up an offense better.
Okay,
I'll give you that.
All right,
I'll give you that.
And so I got the only real reason why you have to play Dennis Smith Jr. It really is you have Frank who runs the offense, and you have Dennis Smith Jr. here, who kind of can run an offense, but he's not to say he's good.
Right, he's better than some that we have. So
that's why. Like it's tough because ISO needs to get minutes, needs to develop, but we have it's just crowded.
Yeah,
it's just crowded. And Donna's giving
But
you
somebody
defense
with
and
that
offense.
level of talent, that's got to be frustrating, man.
Yeah.
As far as trades go, too, I know you mentioned something a while ago, Ryan, about trading Bobby Portis.
Well,
to separate Randall.
But who are we gonna get?
What are we doing? We were playing with the idea of me. I know I'm in the minority of possibly wanting to keep Marcus Morris because of he seems like he seems like the actual leader of the team.
But what kind of deal are you going to sign him to after his deal expires? What are you going to do?
That's really what it is. What it comes down to it is money. Like, I'm not going to give him more than what he's getting right now.
You think he's going to sign another 1-year deal? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Especially after this year when he's putting up 50% from the three, he's going to cash in.
Right now, he's going
to cash in.
Yeah. It really depends on the money because right now, okay, we got him for 15 million, right?
Yeah, for
the time,
1 year.
At the time, you say, all right, we kind of overpaid for him, but as you look at what he's giving you right now, we didn't.
Right,
because he's giving you 18 points a game.
He's giving you the value.
He's giving you 18 points a game.
He's definitely giving the value.
So like, all right, cool. He comes back to the table. There's no big free agents really next season.
Yeah.
So do you do a 2-year team option type of deal? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you do something like that? And then I remember I remember. Ryan
don't mistake me for that, man.
Wow.
Don't mistake me for that, man, yo. Don't mistake me for that, man.
I mean, I both don't play defense.
Oh, damn.
Wow, Scorpio love in the building.
2 or 3 good possessions. That's all this is man. That's all this. If you listen to the show before, you know
he's definitely said that.
Inside joke.
Yes.
If you listen to the show before, Ryan always says, if I play basketball, I'm only giving you 2 to 3 strong possessions.
Like who? Like Melo.
Like Melo.
These days like LeBron. You know, like I'm gonna give you 2 or 3 when it matters. When it matters.
What's happening?
When it matters.
Yo, I don't know if y'all caught this. I don't know if Chris was trying to focus in on your face or if he was just disgusted that you mentioned your name with LeBron's name in the same sentence. Because Chris is having the kill squint when you said LeBron.
Right now, what's the latest record right now?
Yo, I'm just being real right now. Like, in the past few seasons, LeBron didn't play no defense throughout games until when it really matters in the game. Like,
I gotta see LeBron. I got it.
Oh man,
that's my guy. I can joke with him. Oh man, I probably was talking about joking so much. We talking about Julius Randle. Oh, I was talking about who to trade.
Yes.
I know you were saying move because you was talking about separating Marcus Morris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Julius Randle.
Yes.
And I think you were saying a week ago or 2 weeks ago that what if we move Bobby Portis and then separate Randle?
But what are we getting for Bobby Portis?
That's the only.
Yes.
I mean, I think
What are we getting for him?
at least a pick, a second round
Deep
pick.
second round pick.
second
Not
round-
It
even.
ain't gonna be a good pick.
What is Bobby
Yeah.
Portis? I feel like Bobby Portis is shooting like high 30s.
Yeah.
Is it good, but is it enough
but the
to
thing-
move him though?
Yeah, but the thing is that like my mind has changed because when I made that initial comment, like the Knicks weren't as bad as they are now.
Right.
So it's like my mind has changed on that because my initial idea was, okay, like since Morris and Randle can't play together, and at the time the Knicks were not as bad as they are now, so there was still hope that okay maybe we can win some games. So I was thinking okay, you move Bobby Portis and then you have a lineup where it's like Morris or either Morris or Randle comes off the bench and you have one, so it's like you kind of like switch them in and out of games. So it's like you have Morris on the court by himself with a lineup during a certain amount of time. Then you have Randle on the court with a lineup with a certain amount of time.
You know what it is? My premise is under the assumption that Mike Miller comes in here and actually makes the team look competent. That's my premises. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
My premise is Mike Miller comes in here and the team actually looks like a team. And because the Pacers game we didn't win, but we actually looked like a NBA team.
Yeah, it was competitive.
Nah, Glenn, it's too soon.
It's definitely too soon
to make a definitive decision. But I'm just giving you the option.
Right.
We have until February to kind of, see what can we really do with these pieces. What if we realize? What if we do have some correct pieces here?
That's what I'm saying.
What if and then we just have to see what happens and just move some pieces for assets, not just everybody.
Right.
And then on top of that, who we bringing in here if you do bring something? Because we still need people on the roster.
Yeah.
We can't just like.
And it's not like it's not a lot of high quality pieces that we're gonna get at this point, man.
Because at this point we have Peyton, Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
Help me out here, guys.
Ellington.
Bobby,
Mm-hmm.
Ellington,
Taj.
Bull. That's 6 people.
Yeah, Bullock.
Like we need a roster.
And here's the thing. here's the reality of it. Any change you make is either gonna be a lateral move or a downgrade.
Right. So we need a roster. So are we only going for assets, or are we still trying to kind of balance and have some assets brought in here and still develop people? Because that's where I'm really getting at. I don't want to just go
and
full on.
Speaking of develop, I mean, I don't know.
I still wanted to see if there's something that we can salvage.
That's what I'm about to say. We need to see, because in regards to development, I mean, that hasn't been going on for several games.
That's all I'm saying.
Right. So
I think the veteran free agents stunt the development of the young guys, and I think if you get rid of them, then you open up the room for development for these guys, because they could play more, and they could have more responsibility on the court and stuff like that, and they also don't have to worry, because Marcus Morris. How many times have we seen Marcus Morris and Julius Randle ice out R.J. Barrett and Frank? They won't pass them the ball.
Right. No,
it's like and it's hard for a rookie or like Frank. He's not going to go up to Marcus Morris and be like, pass me the ball.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
It's like a French guy going to someone from North Philly. Come on, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yo, give me the ball.
I was talking about why Elfrid Payton was important yesterday, and it's like, even though Frank makes the right play,
he does make the right play.
Even though he makes the right play, Payton makes the right play and has respect.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the game, the Pacers game, we talked about it last night on the show.
Yeah.
Randall asked for the ball. Payton said no.
Listen,
that's what we need here.
Hold on a second. Exactly. Let's get that man applause.
So do you trade?
We need more people to tell no handle Randall no.
Do you trade Payton who tells Randall no? or do you make a decision trade the?
We needed Fizz to tell Randall no. You know what I'm saying? Like. Watching Randall in those past couple games before the firing was just an atrocity. I'm like, why are you? And even honestly, and I mean, I can't be that mad, because they played better. But even the fact that we had to rely on Randall at the end of the Pacers game, because Ryan and I we talking about it in the group text. Like, everybody look in his eyes. He didn't want no parts of the free throws. He didn't want no parts of the free throws at all. He was. Oh my God. Yo. But
he's like, why me?
So now you're gonna ask for the ball? No. Man,
man,
applause, man.
Exactly. I mean, at the moment though, if the Knicks have to trade a point guard, like, I'm leaning towards trading Dennis Smith Jr. because at this point it's like I'm kind of projecting into the future right now, but it's like.
That's hard, man.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, Frank is pretty much the young guy that's showing that he pretty much has a future with the team the way he's playing right now.
Because his skill set isn't based on purely athleticism.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And then Elfrid Payton, it's like the way Elfrid Payton is playing right now, it's like maybe you can see him as kind of a mentor for Frank, maybe. To kind of mentor him or whatnot. And then, like, coming into next season now, you have so many good guards coming in this upcoming draft. Yep. It's like, hopefully the Knicks can land like a top 4 or 5 pick and land like one of these, top point guards that's going to be coming in. And then hopefully you can have that point guard and pair with Frank for next season.
Or go Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, that good. Yeah, the kid's a beast too. That shooting guard from Georgia. So, I mean, at this point, man, I might just be leaning towards just trading Dennis Smith Jr.
Yo, the only thing, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know at this point what you're going to get for Dennis Smith Jr. He's been so, I still think there will be a team who will look at him and look at his athletic ability and just be like, okay, they'll just assume that the Knicks screwed him up, which is, we apparently
valid assumption.
We screwed everyone, so I think we might be able to get something for him, but like...
Yeah.
I think the same thing about Julius Randle. I feel like, especially because Julius Randle was so good last season.
But not only last season, even when he was on the Lakers, he was good, though.
Yeah, like he was probably one of the most efficient big men in the league last season, 21-8.
Yeah, because he was playing next to AD, so
Even
he
when-
took all the...
Even when he wasn't playing next to AD, he was still one of the most efficient big men.
So maybe he needs a point guard, like a Drew Holiday.
Exactly. That's the
or a coach
answer.
that tells him not to dribble the ball from the 3-point line, maybe. I don't know.
Or Peyton to tell him no.
Yeah.
Well, they did play with each other last year in New Orleans, though.
That's why that's the weird thing about Fizz firing stuff. Like, it's the perfect storm because I feel like Peyton might be the one guy who might have been able to control Randle at the end of games in certain situations. But it shouldn't all be on Peyton. It should be on Fizz too. So like he still deserves to go. But Peyton could have made a little bit of a difference.
I also don't think they're going to trade Dennis Smith Jr. because they traded Kristaps for Dennis Smith Jr.
That's really the optics.
It's the optics, and that's
optics,
what I'm really upset about is the optics. Like it just seems like, and I think Steve Mills is like, I think when people think of Steve Mills, they think of him as like an extension of Dolan, right? And I think that he and Dolan are so concerned about the optics that it affects, the product on the floor. You know what I mean? Like if you weren't concerned about the optics, then you would be able to have Julius Randle, maybe try him for one game, try him off the bench, see what happens.
Right.
And like this whole Dennis Smith Jr. still playing big minutes, and it's because of the optics of the KP trade. I think if we put the optics behind. If you put optics in front of winning, of course it's not going to work out. But if we try, we have to. I don't know. I just think Steve Mills. I mean, I think we all agree that Steve Mills.
Yeah, Steve Mills
needs to go.
Steve Mills got to go.
Yeah.
I will say Dennis Smith has not been playing a lot of minutes lately. It's gotten to the point where Fizz actually trusted Frank over Dennis Smith Jr., which I never thought would happen in my entire life.
Especially not based on last season.
Definitely not. But it's definitely true that Steve Mills has to go.
And I got some interesting stats on Steve Mills.
Oh, please share.
Yes, stats and facts, man. Go ahead.
Yes. Now, I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Should I go through these stats slowly, or should I just speed through them?
Oh, slow.
All right.
Slow and painful.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So.
Give it to us.
So this.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a big pause. That's a big pause. Yeah, big pause. Yeah, big pause. So,
give us the
good
facts.
catch, Jay.
Yeah.
The facts.
So,
Thank God Kathy.
so on, Kathy would have went in. So on Twitter, Adam Zagoya came up with these stats for Steve Mills while he was here with the Knicks.
What's up, Adam?
It's actually 13 plus seasons with Mills involved and no winning record. Here are the records throughout Mills' tenure, and this is going to be pretty long.
Oh, Lord.
Because he's been here forever.
Oh, man.
2003, 37 and 45. 2004, 39 and 43. 2005, 33 and 49. 2006, 23 and 59.
Ew.
2007, 33 and 49. 2008, 23 and 59. 2009, 32 and 50. Then there was a big break in between when he left, and that's when the Knicks actually had a winning record of 289 and 269.
Yeah.
Then when he came back in 2014, 37 and 45.
They bring him back.
2015.
I'm regretting saying slow now.
Okay, speed this up.
2015, 17 and 65. 2016, 32 and 50.
What? 17 and 16? Damn, I blocked that out.
Yeah.
I was just I completely blocked that out. I'm like,
Man, we're on pace for worse this year.
Exactly.
oh my God.
2017, 31 and 51. 2018, 29 and 53. 2019, another 17 and 65. And then 2020, 4 and 18 for an overall of 387 and 701.
What? Okay. How long was he gone?
He was gone for like about a 4-year stint in between, where the Knicks actually had a winning record of
Those were the
289.
Donnie Walsh years, right?
Yeah,
Right.
269. Yeah.
Why did we bring him back?
Because that's his boy.
Yeah, that's Dolan's boy right there.
That's what I just want to know. Like, what happened with the Knicks tape years? Like, we were building something with Donnie Walsh.
Yeah.
Everything was going well, and then what happened?
Years were
Yeah, what happened?
What happened?
Yeah.
that was a promising era, man.
What
Yeah.
happened?
Iman Shumpert dropping bars.
Walsh,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Walsh got washed.
Yeah.
wow.
I don't know what happened. I forgot. I really don't.
What happened? You have any stats on it?
That's what I'm saying. It's like a block, you know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Damn.
Cause it's like what the Knicks won like 54 games, like, and won the Atlantic Division, went to the semifinals.
Yeah.
Then like the next season, like they just like fell off and like they started like losing mad games, and they tried to make I think a deep run for like the 8th seed and couldn't make it, and then from there were just downhill.
Was that the year we had all the we gave all our picks up and we was just stacking up on veterans? I mean,
I think that was like Bargnani coming in.
Yes.
Yeah, and Phil Jackson coming in.
Was the year
Yeah.
that Kurt Thomas came back?
Yeah, I love when Kurt was back. Oh man.
Yeah.
I felt bad how he went out though.
Yo, question. So, Steve Mills, you know, is obviously trash.
Yes.
There's been rumors that said that that he's possibly the next one out. If he's not going to be in, I don't know.
Man, don't tease me.
I don't know. Like how you know take these as rumors, grain of salt.
Man, I will.
Because I believe Frank Isola wrote this, so you know how we feel about Frank Isola.
The Athletic.
We don't know how much is grounded in truth or not.
How credible it is.
Right, but they said he might be out of the building by next season.
Really?
Yes. So
I think they said
That gives him too much time to mess things up for this trade stuff.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's gonna make another draft pick.
That's why Perry is there, man. That's why Perry is like a leash to me, man. Like just keep him in check. Whoa. Ooh, don't.
Yeah. But the thing with Perry is that like if they do get rid of Steve Mills, like I feel like Perry's gonna be like collateral damage. Like he's like Perry's gonna be gone too. I feel like if Mills is gone.
And that brings me to the other rumors with Messiah.
Yeah, Masai Ujiri.
Yeah. How do you feel? All right, I think I know how you would feel.
I mean, I would love Masai. I'm more concerned about getting Steve Mills out than who comes in. You know what I mean?
think that's why.
Like I'm thinking Masai, maybe Sam Presti, Brian Colangelo has a a reputable background.
Yeah.
But as long as you get Steve Mills out, maybe you can get Bob Myers from Golden State. I don't know, but like. Anybody, man. You want to be GM? I'm with you.
Listen, we can be GM by community.
I'm saying, like, I'm available, Knicks.
Ryan needs a job. Listen.
I will gladly take 20-something million and be fired in 2 years.
Facts. Listen.
Gladly. Hey, tell I'm the blame.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would do my best for sure if I was a GM.
Well, of course. Of course.
But that check is
nice. If I was a GM, I could never do, and we suck. I could never do KOT or post game live ever again.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That ain't happening.
Like, boo, JR, let's get off the side.
Yeah. It's like, because you can't even trash talk the Knicks anymore. Like,
but if you were the GM,
remember that era when JLs was there and he traded.
But listen, if you were the GM,
and he gave Kadeem Allen the starting job.
But if you were the GM and messed it up, the KOT YouTube views going way up. All the trolls. Listen, Twitter fingers. Oh man.
Oh man.
All right. You know what? The Nigga Time Podcast at gmail.com. Email me. Have my staff, Ari Edson.
Oh man.
Ari, who's the first person we should trade? Ari.
That's it. GM by committee.
Word.
I'll say Ari wants to trade Julius Randle.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all right.
Makes Iso the starting point guard and shooting guard.
I just think he needs minutes, man. At least, listen, I think if he was playing in the last 4 minutes of the Indianapolis game when we couldn't score for our life,
he needs to get reps.
He needs minutes.
He's got to get reps, and he's not.
Let me explain to you. Frank doesn't score, right?
Right.
He plays defense. He has a role.
Right.
Stop the best player on the team. Mitch got a role. Be the anchor of the defense and dunk the ball on the lobs. Isozo got a role get buckets.
Yeah. That was his job. That was his job.
Like, even if he doesn't play defense, he still has a role. I'm not saying he should. Okay, I thought he should start. I don't even necessarily think he should start anymore. I think he needs minutes though.
Yeah.
He needs minutes.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
we will see.
I think him and Frank could be interesting because Frank can play the defense. They both have good size. Frank can't score. Frank can organize him where to go, and then he could get the buckets. I think that could be interesting.
It could
slide
be.
RJ to the 3, move Morris up to the 4, Mitch at the 5, and Randall hopefully off the bench. But who knows?
I
That
think
would be a. I kinda like
it's
that
interesting.
lineup.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
I think too. I think he actually used not Randall Morris at the 4 at his stint with Mitch. The Pacers last night for a stint too, and it actually looked alright. I know people have been actually been calling for that to have for the spacing,
Yeah.
give Mitch more room to roll. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, man. Mike Miller might.
No, the spacing
Miller
was,
might make-
that was one of the things I did notice also with the Pacers game. The spacing was a lot nicer.
Yeah, it definitely was.
It was a lot more even, a lot more open. They were able to get to the basket a little easier.
and the off ball movement was a lot.
Yeah.
better. Like
Yeah.
even the first play, I posted on Twitter. I think Tom posted it from Knicks Film School. Like it seemed like Frank drove right after like a little pick. When he drove, he automatically looked to go to the corner, and Marcus wasn't even there yet. But I feel like Marcus just knew where the ball was going, where he needed to
Ball
be.
movement was a lot more crisp.
Yeah, automatically went to the corner for
Yeah.
an easy 2-pointer. It was like,
That's one of the things that Mike Miller said he wanted to do, is he wants to have more ball movement.
yeah,
Everybody needs to touch the ball, especially you got a roster where you don't have a superstar.
yeah.
Yo, move the ball
what you
around.
gotta do, yeah.
The ball, you pass the ball, it's gonna get to the spot faster than somebody running.
Oh wait, I went to go somewhere with the Usaya Ujiri stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it's gonna come back to me. I know it is.
Jay's getting old, y'all.
Would you want him here if it means
To give up a pick.
giving up a pick?
How high?
Right.
Because we already gave up a pick to get Ninja P in here. So to fire him, then give him another pick to get another. It's like,
How high is the pick
High.
you giving up?
would you give it first? I'm gonna start with the first just to see.
Well, I mean, we got 2 extra first-round picks. I wouldn't mind. I mean, Masai Ujiri. I mean, if you look at his track record, like he turned the Denver Nuggets around. Look at Toronto. Like he turned them around.
He's
Like
also not
very
scared to
true.
take
Yeah,
chances.
like-
he takes he takes risks too.
Yeah.
So he's got some
Gamble
stones.
big to win big.
exactly.
Okay.
I also think
I would do it.
this is, again, I don't want to get into all the free agency stuff because I got mentally burned from the KD Kyrie stuff. But I mean, I think he could connect with some guy with a Greek last name, perhaps. Maybe. I don't know. Just maybe.
Wow. I mean, that would be lovely.
Yeah, more than lovely.
I have PTSD. I won't.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, and I think we all do. As,
Yeah.
Especially as it got closer. It's like,
Oh,
okay,
God, I thought this
we're
was
about
the
to,
year.
yeah, we're
I
about
really
to
did.
win big, and then
Yo, man,
nothing.
I really think the basketball god screwed us, man.
I think, honestly, it was KD's injury. I think if
Yeah,
he didn't get
Yeah.
injured, he would have been the lead recruiter in the Kyrie thing. He would be like, I'm going to
Yes.
New York, and then Kyrie
Yeah.
would have just had to come with him to New York.
And we said that here too.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so
That
glad
injury
Jalen
sent him
said
back,
that
yeah.
2 months later. I was like, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
I know. Like, come on. Yeah.
But I still don't think Brooklyn win anything, to be honest with you. Even when KD does come back.
Yeah.
Nah,
they don't.
those teams out west, man. You see the Lakers and the Clippers. Like
Yeah.
even if
They
KD and
are
Kyrie,
running right
nah,
now.
yeah, they're not gonna beat those dudes.
And Kyrie needs a leash on him too. Speaking of leashes.
Kyrie is not a great leader.
No.
Nah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Kyrie's not a great leader, and if you're the point guard, you're the captain of the ship, you're the extension of the coach on the floor,
Exactly.
and you don't even communicate with the guys in the locker room, like you're kind of antisocial. You can be antisocial, that's cool, but you can't be the leader of the team.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't. This just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I know I was kind of trying to see if he could Kyrie too, but I'm kind of glad that we didn't actually even show interest in him.
Yeah, I'm so curious to see Brooklyn next season when KD's playing.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I don't really feel like they're gonna make that much noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
KD is definitely a game changer on any team you put him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Even post Achilles. I mean, I ruptured my Achilles, so I know what it's like. Like, you never get back, but he's so talented that he's still going to be
Exactly.
top 5,
Like
top
his
10
jump
player
shot,
anyway.
he's not losing.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going to...
Yeah.
If
And-
anything, even if he's not as explosive, that guy's got so many different ways to score.
It's a wrap, yeah.
Yeah, and my thing is that, like, if you're gonna be successful with a team with Kyrie on it, you have to have an alpha on that team. Like the years that Kyrie was actually successful was when he played with LeBron James.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I'm like, even when he went to the Celtics, like, yeah, they played good, but it's like there was kind of a turmoil there. You know what I'm saying? And
because he's a beta that wants to be an alpha.
Exactly, and then it's like you're gonna pair him with KD, where I'm not even sure if KD's an alpha, to be honest about it, because like when he was with Russell Westbrook, like Westbrook was the alpha on that team.
Yeah. That's what messed it up.
Yeah,
KD should have been the alpha.
Yeah, exactly. Even though KD's a more talented player, then when he went to Golden State, like he wanted to be like, I want a more team atmosphere where we pass the ball around and you don't have any one person really taking over a game and this and that. Like that's a beta personality. So it's like,
but KD though, that's why it's so interesting. He's got a beta personality, but he's got alpha skills.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like whenever the only reason why Golden State was a video game unbeatable was because of KD.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When he was hurt, you see what happened. Like
KD
is the X factor. It's like, man, he says he realizes it, but he don't, act like he does. We'll see what Brooklyn looks like.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But
all right.
Collective sigh.
Any more coaches y'all want to talk about? You get all the coaches you want after that?
I have a question
Mark
for you.
Action Jackson.
Oh, see, I was gonna avoid the Mark Jackson.
No, we have to because it's in the Twitter sphere.
Since we in it, okay.
I've seen people say that.
I mean, he's got the second highest odds right now in Vegas to be the next coach.
We've tossed.
Wait, second highest? I seen first. Who has the first highest?
No, actually, no. You're right. Mark Jackson has the first.
Yeah.
Who has the second? Someone else.
I don't remember. I just remember seeing
Mark Jackson. Has the first.
We've been tossing his name around.
God, no.
We've been tossing his name around the Nick of Time show for years.
This guy's
at this point.
Biggest advocate for Mark Action
before
Jackson.
Fizz, Mark Jackson's name was one that was high up there. What do you think about Mark Jackson and his fit with the team?
Boo.
Right?
I mean, go ahead, Ryan. Go speak for your.
It's a whole bunch of yay.
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna jump into it right quick.
Okay.
He started out the 2011-12 season 23-43 with the Warriors. 2012-13 had them jump up 24 wins, 47-35, and then 13-14 season. 51-31 combined 121-109 record.
Right.
Definitely the young players under him showed improvement throughout the years. Steph Curry improved, Klay Thompson improved, Draymond Green improved under his tenure as coach. And the interesting thing is that like when Steve Kerr was coach of the Warriors after Mark Jackson left, he always attributed Mark Jackson with the defensive schemes that they run.
Of course.
Because he was like, he already saw that this team was a defensive team, and he said, and he even said himself that he didn't change anything defensively. His job was to just get the offense to, play better. And I found a stat that before Steve Kerr took over as coach, Mark Jackson had the Warriors as the fourth best defensive team in the league.
So what was the reason that Mark Jackson got fired?
He could not get along with people in the front office.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah, but there's rumors behind that. It's about like his religion and the GM.
So
is,
that was the other thing. Yes.
Yeah. New York is a very liberal place, Mark.
I said that you're not going to get away.
This is not Dallas.
Exactly. It's not Dallas. You're not getting away with that stuff over here trying to talk down to people who love other people.
You got to be
careful. Let that rock,
be
Mark.
tolerant. Tolerant.
Exactly.
Gotta be tolerant.
But my whole thing is that like the guy's a New Yorker.
Okay.
Brooklyn, New York. He
so
knows.
Trump.
And he's a former Knick. Wow.
That's what I'm saying, yo. He's a former Knick too.
Right.
Drafted by the Knicks, won Rookie of the Year here. Played I think 4 seasons here with the Knicks.
Yep.
He understands the franchise, the culture. He knows how to deal with the media. And I feel like a lot of Knicks fans would respect it, if Mark Jackson came and coached the team. The only thing is that okay, if you bring him in, you would hope that he would be humble enough to be like, you know what, I need help on the offensive end. Let me bring in a coach that'll handle the offense, and then I'll handle the defense.
You know
what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But I'm like, yo, like really, where the Knicks are right now? Like, why not give it a shot?
Anywhere else is up.
That's what I'm saying. Why not give it a shot?
Because this is the biggest market in the world.
Besides LA.
And if you come in here with some intolerant stuff.
It's the politics, I think.
Messing with the free agents. If you
politics.
come over here trying to If Mitchell Robinson twists his ankle and you try to bathe him in holy water like he did when you was in Golden State, he gonna run you out of here and call you crazy.
So here's the thing. I think if Mark...
On top of that, he's over here. He wasn't he like demoting assistants?
Yeah.
Golden State. And
the thing is that
send people to
if he can allow his politics to remain his own politics and not project it on everybody in the organization,
this is the absolute
possibility.
Place to have
It can work. Politics. And he definitely needs to have an offensive coordinator. That he can't.
Has to.
He can't be like Fizz. Like, I'm good. I don't need. You need defensive help.
Yeah.
And so if Mark Jackson can do that, keep his politics in check, I don't see nothing wrong with it. But Mark Jackson is a strong personality, and that's putting it mildly. You know.
Exactly, and he's a former point guard, and we have some point guards on the team that need some grooming, which I feel like he can
Very
do.
true. Very true.
I'm indifferent on Mark Jackson. I'm indifferent. I don't hate him. I don't like him necessarily.
Right.
You know, I think that you should have a coach who knows what New York is about, how the media works, especially if you're a point guard. It means you should be a cerebral person, and you know, we need some defense. So I'm not against it, but there might be other, like, you know, what about? And I'm going to throw a name out here. Another New York product, ex-NBA basketball player. I believe he was a point guard. Kenny the Jet Smith. What about him?
That would be a.
Kenny was definitely.
That would be like outside the box hire.
I'm reading. I don't know.
But if you're talking about someone who could connect with the younger generation, who's a likable person, has a good personality, who played with Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, and he's a New Yorker. He's definitely.
He's a New Yorker.
New Yorker, yeah.
And maybe, I mean, weren't they talking about Chauncey Billups getting like GM roles?
I like Kenny Smith.
You do.
But the same. Did he put his name in the last time?
Yeah, he did.
Here's the thing. He was in an interview. He did an interview. I'm reading this thing. It says Mark Jackson came since our favorites to be next Knicks coach.
So Kenny was the second highest, I think.
Which is like, and it's funny enough because me and CP were at the Knicks open practice, and Kenny Smith was sitting right next to everybody.
Oh.
Some inside information.
So
I might have to make a bet right now.
Okay.
So like you start to wonder, like, the way the Knicks are shuffling people. They hired Mike Miller. Now he's the next coach. Kenny Smith is sitting
I wouldn't be mad at that. You
know what? I like Kenny Smith as a personality. I know he jogs to the tape. Right? You know, like, he looks cool when he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? He's like the cool uncle.
Right.
Can I have somebody who's actually, you know, managed the team, managed personalities more than Charles and Shaq and them? You
right.
Know what I
mean? But here's the thing.
Like I hate, like, I know he has the knowledge, but I hate when people go from desk to head coach without.
So.
Cause I feel like we keep getting in trouble that way. We can go for the name, without the experience, and then we wonder why things aren't going well. Like Derek Fisher, we're wondering why.
Well, Derek Fisher was horrible.
Yeah, Derek Fisher was. That was a failed experiment.
That was
yeah.
Well,
and
he was hitting on people's girlfriends, so that's different.
Yeah.
Derek Fisher.
He's about to get washed up. You know, scared.
Well, I mean, to counter your point though, like, Jason Kidd pretty much, like, he didn't have any prior coaching experience, and I think that first season with the Nets he went 44-38.
Yeah, because
eventually, but I mean, it's still
that head guy over at the paint jobs doesn't know.
And then he went to the Bucks, and he did all right there. Yeah. And then people started calling him crazy. And then when he left, they started doing better.
He spilled the water on the guy. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
That's a coach that wants to win, man.
Yeah, man. Oh,
I mean, that's what you call going out for your team, though. You know.
Yeah.
But
not quite hanging on Alonzo Mourning's leg, but almost.
Right.
Almost wants it in his
hand. Some dedication there.
But I do think, you know, we do need somebody that's cerebral. I think point guards really make some of the best coaches. But I do.
You do. I'm throwing such a wild card right now.
Okay. But I do.
Point guards make the best coaches.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Becky Hammon.
Oh, you see? Here. Listen. Here's the thing, though. because I don't want people to think that, I don't want women to be coaches in the NBA. I do. Like, I want Becky Hammon to be successful. Knicks is not the way to go for her. The Knicks right now are a dumpster fire, and I feel like with her being a woman coach, and she's going to and her
There
be
might
like
be some
the first
pushback from some of the guys, maybe.
It's not even
This
that.
absolutely will be pushed. But I'm not saying by the Knicks.
Yeah.
Because I think we have high character guys.
Yeah,
here.
I'm not the players.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the players.
I'm not even talking
They're
about
gonna
that.
micromanage. They're gonna.
I'm not even talking about because I'm like, yo, she's a woman coach, so it's like it's gonna be harder for her than the men coaches. So I'm like, yo, put yourself into a situation where it's a good situation. You know
But
what I'm saying?
I think it'll be harder not because she doesn't have the skill set, but because of people that might not be open to the idea of having her in that position.
Right.
That's what I think.
She wants to take the open shot.
I think that
she doesn't know when the next one's gonna come.
Right. And I think that if she does think that she's.
Yeah, but I also feel like as if she comes to the Knicks and it goes all the way down, man, it's gonna be hard for her to get another head coaching gig.
Here's my thing: if she does it, because I like to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
If she takes it and it goes all the way up,
right?
Then great for us.
I mean, great for us. Like she's a point guard, say 5'6", good shooter.
Listen,
hey, you need point guards that.
She used to play for the Liberty, so she's used to New
York.
I don't think she won a championship with the Summer League. I mean, it's not that much.
Listen. At this point,
pop the cycle. Cycle.
We should be fielding any option at this point. Because at this point we're pretty much at ground zero, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we're gonna remain at ground zero till a couple of things change, and that's at the top. And I'm gonna keep saying that.
Amen.
Even if we can get as much. Because think about 13 coaches. What are we gonna do? How many more do we need to go through till we realize it's not only the coaching problem? Because you can say there's things that Fizz didn't do tactically. We acknowledge that. All of these coaches have things that they don't do well. But they're still able to have a competitive product on the floor. 13 coaches. You're going to tell me that it's all the coaching staff? Every time something really goes wrong, they blow up the coaching staff. Who stays?
Yeah.
You gotta. That is where the microscope needs to be. And I hope that rumor is more than just a rumor.
Which one?
About
Steve
Mills.
Yeah.
I hope that is more than just a rumor.
And the thing is too, if you're gonna want somebody like Ujiri here, you can't have. He has to have the power. That's the thing. Like, he needs to have the power because what's happening right now with Dolan is they don't let the presidents really shake up who's in the office. Like, if you want to bring in your own trainer, I read a story that said Phil Jackson tried to bring in like an extra person from the medical staff and they told him no. You know what I'm saying? Because they like to kind of keep that nepotism thing going. And you gotta have to break that up for it to really get somewhere. So if Ujiri wants to be here, if they want him here, they have to give up a little bit more power and let him actually get rid of some people who he feels doesn't fit.
What's happening is like generational trauma. Generational trauma is like let's say poverty, right? That gets passed on generationally, right? Each time that we allow a season to go by and Steve Mills is still here, it's still trauma. It's still trauma from the past season. And then the coaches on the front line, so they're on they're the first target. As opposed to looking at, well, what's the foundation of it? Why are we continually having the same problem? Why can't we get it why can't we figure it out? Because of who you got at the top making decisions.
Agreed.
So that trauma's going to continue. Like, we're going to continue to have this conversation season after season, the KOT show, if that doesn't change.
Yeah, I just listened to the episode we did last year, or a couple of, was it 2 years ago?
Which one?
When we fired Jeff Hornacek.
Oh, exactly.
I was just listening to that.
Yo,
and I mean, there's somebody even higher than Steve Mills that
But we know that he's not going.
Exactly.
We know he's not going
nowhere
until he decides.
Unless like he gets Harvey Weinstein, then it's like, okay, the NBA will like vote him out. You know what I'm saying? But yo, that's our only hope right now, yo.
I'm not calling that hope. Use a Ryan G. Not the one that wanted Harvey Weinstein. Just so that makes me better.
Yo. Harvey Weinstein, man.
Oh man, this is.
I would give up a first round pick just to get Steve Mills out and not even get Ujiri in here. just to get him out. I'd be like, get him out.
Wow.
Seriously, he is the root. He is the root cause. Like, think about it. Think about the butterfly effect of that Tim Hardaway Jr. deal.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You don't
No,
trade
it
Chris
did.
Stapps.
Yeah.
Maybe KD comes anyway.
It's
maybe,
true.
You don't even know what the damage that this man has done.
No, it's just a fact because that year when the year that we took Tim Hardaway Jr. was the year I was like, yo, why come we didn't re-sign Justin Holiday? Damian Dotson was
Holiday was my guy, man. I'm like, I don't know why.
He would have came for a lot less.
Yeah.
I read the paper and I was like, yo, how come they signed Justin? He's like, yo, they didn't even contact me.
And you didn't contact Justin, but you took Tim, who was Justin, and it was like, and I was mad excited about Damian Dotson that year,
right? And he hardly got no burn
because of that $77 million, man. Like, listen,
it was like a domino effect. Dotson might have been more developed. You know,
I mean, Timmy. That was a huge mistake.
And then
signing.
that plus with the Ron Baker thing, we had that's extra
right.
$8 million on the books
Baker.
that we would have had.
He was also part of the Joakim Noah side. I know it's Phil, but he was also there for Joakim Noah, which, wow, that worked out real well.
Yeah, didn't it, guys? Didn't
oh my God!
Listen, they tried to get me to apologize.
Oh yeah. That was a dark time.
I remember clearly. I was never a fan of us having Joakim Noah here. They're like, "Oh, watch, don't worry, he's gonna be better. Why you're gonna be writing an apology letter by after the All-Star game."
No. I'll say this.
Okay.
When he first got here, I didn't want him here.
Okay.
You know what it is? I was like, you know what? You know what it was? It was the years. It was like I was iffy on it.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, he's been rehabbing.
Right.
It's cool if he's here, but 4 years is too much without seeing.
I just knew he wasn't gonna produce.
Yeah, and he had a good few games where he had like 20 rebound games. It's like, okay, all right,
a few meaning
good.
like two games. Okay, that's on my
entire time.
I was like, wow, Joakim is back. And then he got too lit for New York, and now we're here.
Oh my God.
Hanging around One Oak.
Exactly.
Steroids.
Check his piss. Remember the check his piss era?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was a hard year.
Yeah, it was.
And
entertaining, but
Derrick Rose went missing.
Right. Milk Carton Rose.
Yeah.
What goes on, man? Like, just this season, those seasons, like, we're like the worst team, but we still can't get out of the media. It's always a
you know
spectacle.
What? Here's how the Knicks can redeem themselves. They just need to start a reality TV show.
Right.
That's gonna make things better. It's more entertaining than the games.
And post game is pretty
much.
much.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm trying to follow, but I'm not there yet.
Listen, I would rather watch right now. I would rather watch them than the games. I want to know what's going on behind the scenes.
I mean, that's really why our post game is so.
But that's what I'm saying.
Post game is just
but that's what I'm saying. Like that's what's more interesting. I'm more interested in what is going on. Why is this shit burning? Because the games are just a byproduct of that.
Yeah.
That's true. The story between the story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Knicks reality. I'll tell you, the reality TV show. That's what we need. See who's fighting in practice? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, and have Mitch host. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Let's make that happen.
Word.
All right. Well, do we want to do a recap? The game or
well, I got a quick recap.
Okay, you do. Okay.
I don't even do.
Yeah, you know.
Skip recaps.
You know, like
we got blown out by the Bucks. We got blown out by the Nuggets.
And we lost by 1 to the Pacers.
Do we want to do that one?
That's what I'm talking about. At least the first game under Mike Miller.
I was gonna do it my way though.
Okay, you got the floor then, bro. Right. You got the floor.
All right, so you know, like I don't know if y'all watch Undisputed, but like Shannon Sharp.
Oh,
every time the Cowboys lose, he puts on the chef hat, Chef Shay, serving hot L's to the Cowboys.
So do you have a chef hat?
I wish I did.
Oh. So we're gonna have to work on a KOT chef hat.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the Knicks got the hot L against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh God!
44 points.
Make me read this. Why?
A 44
this
piece.
Is what everybody's turning it off.
A 44 piece extra spicy with fries and a biscuit.
Exactly. They got the family side.
Exactly. And then they followed that up with a 37 piece extra crispy against the Denver
A
Nuggets.
hot steaming bucket.
Exactly.
Well, I guess this is compared to chicken. I can listen to.
Exactly. And then, of course, they lost by 1 to the Pacers with no hand around them, missing a free throw.
Right, first game under Mike Miller wasn't horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little more competitive.
Yeah.
Like an NBA team.
For an NBA team.
Yeah.
Right. We'll see, man, what the next couple games look like.
All right. Well done.
Yes.
Yeah, that was entertaining. That was entertaining.
I'll take that.
So what? We still not doing the ooh picks, or we?
Nah, we can do
I'm on strike.
He's on ooh strike round.
Yes.
He's taking a Kathy route.
Exactly. when the Knicks win,
Ryan Kaepernick's taking a knee.
Yes. When the Knicks win their 5th game, then I'll come with the ooh pick.
Okay.
Oh, 5th game.
Oh,
yes.
5 in a row. Because I'm about to say you're gonna be here.
No.
See you next season.
No. I'm
season
after that.
No. I'm realistic. I'm not delusional. All right. When they get their 5th win of the season, then I have an ooh pick.
This is my good team looking sketch for.
The Golden State game. That's the next shot on the West Coast trip. The Golden State game is the next chance.
Yeah. That's,
Okay.
That's possible.
Their record is almost as bad as ours, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then no Steph, no Draymond. Yeah, he's nursing it bad. I don't know.
Yeah, no Clay.
Yeah, Golden State got hit with the kryptonite real quick.
Yeah, but I'm
just
not
wait.
making fun of them
They're gonna get a top pick and then trade it for an
All-Star.
All-Star, and they're gonna have another big 3 again. Boom.
They're trying to be honest. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't. It could be a rumor, but whatever.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So for those of you that are joining us that new listeners, the ooh picks are our choice picks, Knicks performance throughout the week's games. It's been a little difficult, a little dry. But
dry like a Popeye's biscuit.
on chicken. Are you hungry, right?
Yeah, probably.
I'm getting hungry now.
Probably.
I'm just stay out those lines. That's all I'm about to say.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't do it. Don't do it yourself.
All right. So you got a ooh pick, Jay?
You have the community ooh, man. I don't know.
Oh yes, that's.
I already.
Yeah, we'll do the community.
I don't want to take his.
Take it.
No.
Is it the community?
It's the community.
So
The
we'll
community
let
one.
the guests do it, or
I
do
want
you
to.
want?
Or do you want?
No, you could do it.
All right.
It's the you know what? It's the narration.
Yeah, it's narration.
Go for it.
Narrate it.
All right. So this is Ari's pick. You kind of reminded me, but
Okay.
So I have been killing our guy. Is he still here?
No. I got you.
I've been killing Knox for like the year because he doesn't play defense.
Right.
He's turnstile and he kind of he loses focus a lot. But this time he did not. He's focused. All right. Denver is on the fast break. Mm-hmm. They're thinking, he's the Pickens. 2-on-1. We got this. Only man there is Knox. Knox is is not a defensive juggernaut until today. I don't remember who had the ball first on Denver.
Doesn't matter.
Hopefully, I'll find the clip and post it on the
YouTube.
Yeah. As I'm talking about it, he tries to defend the first player with the ball. Mm. The player quickly gives up the ball to the trailing player. Mm-hmm. Knox quickly adjusts, jumps up in the air, and blocks the ball.
Rejected!
As he's falling to the ground, which adds this dramatic effect. Stopping the 2-on-1 fast break from the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. Then the Knicks have the ball. Knox is going back to the other side. Mm-hmm. For some way, somehow, the ball finds Knox. Knox takes a couple of dribble, looks up, pulls up for the 3, and hits it. Oh! For a KP-like sequence with the block and the 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's potential there. That's what it shows. There's potential.
Exactly. And to add, that was actually Hernan Gomez's brother that he blocked.
Oh! Yeah. That made it even better.
All Hernan Gomez, your man,
Your
bro.
boy Ryan Hernan Gomez. Don't trade Hernan Gomez.
Yeah.
That man couldn't jump over a magazine.
Yeah.
With help.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Well, it ain't Free Willy no more.
Nah, it's
Hey,
not.
listen, I was pretty high on him too at one point. I'll admit it.
I was like, who's the best defensive player on the team? Hernan Gomez or Cantor?
Oh damn.
If you Free Willy all the
If
way.
you to save your life, and you needed somebody to make a stop, and you had to choose between Hernan Gomez or Cantor, who would you pick?
Probably Cantor.
Cantor.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, with this Randall signing, I kind of wish I had Cantor back after that, man.
Oh,
Damn.
damn.
Yeah.
At least he knows his role. He's not going to dribble the ball at the three-point line. Get some rebounds.
Never.
He'll work a lot better with the Morris.
Damn.
Yeah.
Cantor's never.
They both don't play defense.
Randall dropped 45 on Cantor last season.
Yeah, he ain't dropping nowhere near that for us this
Yeah,
season.
Cantor don't turn the ball over every 2 plays.
He's playing out of position. That's really what it is, man.
Yeah. Wait,
You are not
I'll
a
take Peyton Prince leash on him.
We'll see. Yeah,
Really, you
No.
not reel him in. Hopefully, get you back to 21 and 8.
we'll see. We'll see, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But,
Hopefully.
all right. Well, I mean, is there any other order of business that we need to take care of?
Can't do the bra picks, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The
Bra
bra
man from the
picks.
5th floor.
So the bra picks are like our version of Shaqtin' a Fool, and it's not only specific to the Knicks.
Shaqtin' the Fool is their version of the bra picks.
Yeah.
You're right. Shaqtin'
Exactly. and Stephen A's, oh no, he did it.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Yeah, he got that from us too.
Yeah, whose man's is this? That's
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta start copyrighting and coining these things. Yeah.
Word.
Anyway, but yeah, so basically, bloopers throughout the league. I mean, just throughout sports, life, whatever.
Yeah.
Anything that happens during the week that makes us laugh. So
Yeah. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
basketball. It could be
anything.
Yeah.
anything.
All right. Anybody other than Brumman have any bra
Yo,
picks?
do I have any bra picks? Oh wait, no, I just realized I had another U pick.
Oh, you did.
Okay.
Yeah. Fizdale got fired.
Oh man, damn. Yeah.
I don't know if I don't really want to do it, but
I actually think I actually thought the gunshots was sufficient. Like that was it.
Both were good options.
oh man. All right.
Bra
So
picks though.
yeah.
Do I have any bra picks last week? Nah.
I mean that 40+ point loss is a pretty big bro.
Yeah, that's a big
Yeah, I
bro.
guess
That's a pretty big. We're gonna start off.
Bruh, yeah.
Yeah.
Following that.
And yeah, and
30-point
that
loss.
37-point loss
Yeah.
too.
Let's-
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Alfred Payton being in the same time as DSJ.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
bad. That's real bad.
What are we doing?
That was bad.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That was bad. Yeah. That's all I got for right now.
You know what? It makes me think Fizz really was trying to get out of here.
He knew. He sabotaged himself.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
He's like, yo.
If he knows he's gonna get paid either way.
That's what I'm
saying.
saying. He's like, yo, you
Why
know
would
what?
he go through this?
How can I mess this up?
Well, how many point guards? Let's put them all.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Mitch, you're at the 5.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
Word.
All right, floors are his, Ryan. Go ahead.
Well, since we got through all the Knicks bro picks, I also want to throw in No Handle Randall.
Okay, yeah, please.
Yeah.
That should be a regular.
Exactly.
Staple of the show.
Exactly. For missing that game time free throw
Oh, man.
against
that
the Indiana
man,
Pacers.
He did not want that.
Nah.
Dude, now with free throw smoke.
Now I'm gonna go outside the Knicks.
Okay.
Josh Richardson for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, I just have a bro pick. Go ahead, go.
Yeah. So he was playing against the Raptors, and some guys they like to flop, to create fouls.
Of course.
So my guy shot a 3-pointer, flopped as he shot the 3. Guy didn't touch him. The ref called a foul. So he got 3 free throws. First free throw, brick. Second free throw, brick.
Okay.
Third free throw, brick.
You know why? The ball don't
Exactly. Exactly. Rasheed Wallace. Shot big up Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, his soul is still with us.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Next bro pick goes to Covington of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody saw this play. They were facing the Dallas Mavericks. They were down 118-111 with about 30 seconds left. They were inbounding the ball. Covington got the ball. My guy was there sizing up his defender, sizing him up. He just decided to shoot the ball, shoot the deep three. Hits off the top of the backboard.
Bruh. What kind of size was it?
Oh, man.
How tall was this man? 7'10"?
Mitch Gardner?
Which leads me to say that was a whose man's is this?
Whose man's is this?
Yes.
Wait, can I interject with the bro pick?
Of course.
Okay, yeah.
All right. I might have taken one of yours because this one was so obvious. I can't believe I didn't say this earlier. This one, sometimes refs are lenient when it comes to certain stars.
Yes.
They give them some certain leeways, bend the rules a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit extra rope.
Yeah.
Extra rope. This took bending to a whole new level. LeBron James.
Yep.
Dribble, surveys the floor, but he kind of puts the ball under his hand under the ball for approximately 4 to 5 seconds. Takes a gander around the court.
Yep.
Realizes what he sees, and then proceeds to keep dribbling. And the refs act like nothing happened.
So who's LeBron? The ref or LeBron?
The ref for sure.
Yeah.
Bruh. And LeBron just because.
Bruh. And the funny thing was that the ref looked like he was looking right at LeBron and he didn't call anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who was guarding LeBron? Whoever was guarding LeBron was
I think it was Joe
screaming.
Ingles, right?
Yeah,
he was screaming yo, travel,
Man, Joe's don't get no respect, man. Wow. Shout out to Joe Budden.
Oh, man.
That's crazy.
That's all I got.
Nah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Sorry, took you.
It's cool. but with that, the Brooks segment is over. Unless Ari got one. Unless.
No, I got no bro picks, but I have a question that since it's tanking season, it seems like right now, and we need a point guard, LaMelo Ball or Cole Anthony.
At the moment, I have to go LaMelo. At the moment.
That's what I say LaMelo as well. I don't know how I like the Ball family in New York and any of that, but 6'7" shooter.
Lamar, the big city.
And Cole Anthony's a New Yorker. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
You said Cole Anthony.
Yeah, Cole. I said LaMelo. I'd rather take LaMelo at this point.
I'm still thinking about it. I like LaMelo. I like the idea of the 6'7" switching.
Yeah.
And the
The
shooting.
Exactly.
Does he shoot well? I've seen
shoots-
highlights where he's making the shot, but I heard he shoots 32% from three. Is that accurate or not?
I'm not
We can
sure.
we can check the numbers on
Because
that.
I want to make sure that he shoots,
A high percentage.
Yeah.
But he seems like a pure point guard. He can run a team.
So that's really what we need
You know
more
what I
than
mean?
anything. If we can get the scoring from that, it's a plus.
That's the thing.
We need a pure point guard that can run the offense.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued by Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
That's what I'm intrigued by.
Georgia, yeah.
A guy from Georgia. He is a walking buck. I seen I saw some game highlights where he took the team was down by 20 something, and he just single-handedly took over the game, and he gets buckets. And this team, they
need buckets.
They need buckets. We kind of struggle to score sometimes, and it looks like he plays both sides of the ball as well. And he even has a pretty good vision. I saw he made this crazy pass from half court bounce pass on the dime for an assist. I was like, yo, what did I just see?
Yeah.
So I'm also checking him out as well. I'm not.
So
I haven't decided yet.
Scorer, you prefer scorer over point guard?
It depends. I'm going for best talent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Regardless.
Well, I mean,
regardless.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm going for best talent at this point.
Okay.
I prefer a talent that can shoot, considering
especially the way the league is built.
which is why I asked what's his shooting percentage. Like.
Yeah. The only thing about LaMelo Ball is LaMelo, but he can do everything. He rebounds, passes, and he can score
triple
the
double
Yeah.
threat.
I would prefer somebody like that.
He'll be good next to RJ. Somebody who can play combo guard with RJ.
Yeah.
Sometimes on the ball, off ball.
And-
Seems like it.
Yeah, and somebody with a skill set like that, you could develop a shot.
Yeah.
Because he already has a decent shot. He could just develop that.
And then play Frank at the 3 sometimes, and then have him play point guard sometimes. Then
Yeah, like
everybody could kind of be. That could be a real. That could be a real positionless for real.
Yeah.
For real if everybody develops the way they're supposed to.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that too. Because I was like, if we get either LaMelo Ball or any other point guard, say like you really could have a backcourt of like you could play 3 guards. Like you have R.J. Barrett, Ball, and Frank play together.
Yeah, and hopefully Frank is more developed at that point. And
I think he will, because I feel like each season
he's the one guy I think took a step this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I used to be a notorious Frank hater, but I came around a little bit, and I was like, all right, he could stay, he could hang around. And so.
Yeah, James, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I admit my wrongs, you know.
Nah, I do give credit Ari credit because he's very like passionate. Yeah. But when he's like, you know what, I was wrong. He actually is like, yeah.
Listen, I still don't think he's like a starting point guard on a winning team necessarily, unless he has like, you know, I don't know, like LeBron with them or something like that maybe. But like, I do think he's a valuable piece to have on any team because of his defense and because he can play the point guard a little bit. Exactly. So
yeah, he's one of those. He's like a complimentary piece where like
rotation guy.
Yeah, like say RJ turns out to be like a real 1A. Who can score and he also has an all around game. He can pass to and defend. Then if you have a guy like Frank who can kind of be like a secondary playmaker, open shots, break out his man off the dribble a little bit, but not dependent on it to run offense, then I think that can work. You know what I mean?
And even if again his offense is icing and he's more of a defensive player, like who's the guy in Boston? Was it Bradley?
Yeah. Smart?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Smart, Bradley, you know, that are just I need you to defend the best guy.
But I still think bare minimum Frank is going to be a good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, no, I
can play defense.
I do. The more his confidence grows, his shot's gonna
play pick and roll from time to time.
If he can hit the shot, then he could maybe be a starter. But he needs to be able to be consistent from 3.
Yeah, and I've seen it in.
This year he's showed it a little bit.
I've seen it overseas, not even just FIBA, before he even came in the league. That's why I was so confident that he would do
But you can see glimpses of it even in some of the games. Like,
his form's not broken.
Exactly.
Unlike DSJ's form, you're looking at
his form is broken.
Oh, man.
Frank's is not. A lot of it is his confidence. You know, but
But maybe maybe the coaching change. You know, now that he doesn't have Fizdale, maybe Mike Miller, maybe his confidence will be a little higher for all you know. Because I think wasn't Fizdale more of a DSJ guy initially? Like
definitely.
You know, so maybe Mike Miller can kind of give him more confidence, give him more leash to like kind of make mistakes and stuff like that. Hopefully,
I know Frank thinks about it, like, yo, he's giving this guy a whole lot of rope. I can't do nothing, and I'm on the bench.
Yeah.
How do you think ISO feels?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you got
Give
these
that man
guys.
minutes, man. Give him 10 minutes a game, 5 minutes a game. That's it. See, and let him work his way into the rotation, man.
Yeah. All I need is just score.
That's it. Give me buckets.
You know. We will see.
Yeah,
we will see. All right. Well, social media time.
Yeah.
You can find me on all forms of social media at Edson Sean, EDSONSEAN. I'll be dropping some new music at the top of the year. I just recently released this month a cover of my favorite Christmas song, Christmas Time Is Here, from Charlie Brown Christmas. So go and check that out on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, wherever you listen to music.
I'm waiting for the thing.
What's the,
what happened with that?
What? That's coming out. I told you at the top of the year.
Okay.
Don't worry, that's coming. That's on.
It's like what? Okay.
Nah, that's coming. You gotta roll it out. You gotta roll it out.
All right. I'm glad I didn't act on it. Okay. All right, cool. So yeah, do you have anything you wanna?
No.
He's just here to talk ball, talk
I'm
Knicks.
just here to talk. You can catch me at Ari_Michael_Rada or post game on Knicks Fan TV /Nick of Time show.
Right.
I'll be calling in and giving my 2 cents like always.
Jay, where can they find you?
You can't make change out of that. All right. They can find me at JL's Draws Things. That's JELLIS Draws Things. Because I draw things. I draw merch. I make motion graphics. I do graphics in general. Do website stuff. I do a lot of stuff, man. JL's Draws Things. If you want to see some art, that's where you go. How's your boy? All right.
Ryan, where can they find you?
They can find me at Sir G is Chillin'.
Sir G is chillin'.
SIRG is CHILLIN. And I'm going to be back on the writing grind starting next week. I'm a start producing articles for the site and be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
Word.
Shout out to Brendan who we just got and they just left us. Shout out to Brendan.
People are listening and watching and reading.
I mean, that means people's reading. If people are snatching them up.
Yep.
Because he was on No Nicking Time blog. That means people was reading. So shout out to Brendan, man. Good luck where you at.
Word.
All right, that's it.
Peace.
Peace and love out to where you from, but all over the world they have come. Say again, bright lights, big city.